Hi, my name is John Michael Geraldez from BS Ad Mathematics 1B, and my report is all about the Community Needs Assessment. A community needs assessment is a process conducted by all Community Actions Agency every 3 years to determine the underlying causes and condition of poverty within the community they serve and identify the available resources to address the unmet needs of communities' most vulnerable residents. The community needs assessment is the first phase of the results oriented management and accountability or ROMA, grounding and guiding the work to develop and implement the programs and services that lift families and communities out of poverty. The execution of regular community needs assessment is required for all CSBG eligible entities and one of the 9 categories of the Oriental Standards. To assist the critical activity, the organizations shared below have been curated to provide community actions agencies with comprehensive information, easy to use tools for each step of the community needs assessment. There are 4 types of community needs assessment. It may be helpful to categorize needs into 4 categories: perceived needs, expressed needs, absolute needs, and relative needs. Perceived needs based on what individuals feel their needs are. Perceived need refers to individuals' own judgment about the necessity or benefits of a particular service, and assessed needs is based on clinical or screening evaluation of an individual's level of impairment in a specific area pertinent to each services. Example, the higher the incidence of the disease, the higher is the perceived need. Parent and adolescent perceived need for parental consent involving research with minors. The author's position could have been better served by not blowing to these perceived needs. Expressed need defines need in terms of what service people use. So it defines need in terms of services people use. It based on what you can infer about the person or community through observing their use of services. A community or person who uses a lot of services is assumed to have a high need. So those person who use a lot of services are the ones who have a high need. A community or person who does not is assumed to have a low needs. Expressed need is what people say they need, like expressing what they need. It is felt need that has been turned into an express request or demand. Commercial weight control groups and exercise classes are examples of expressed need. They are provided in response to demand. Not all felt need is turned into expressed need or demand. So the next is the absolute need. Absolute needs, as against instrumental needs, are independent of the ends, goals, and purposes of personal agents, against the view that the only needs are instrumental needs. David Wiggins and Gar Thompson have defended absolute needs on the ground that the verb need has instrumental and absolute senses. The example of absolute needs are like water, food, clothing, or like the house. That's what are absolute needs. So the next is the relative needs. Relative needs are rendered necessary based on equity and depend on current circumstances and the norm. The standard may also vary based on population difference and social context. For instance, providing students with access to computer isn't necessary but it is needed. For example, a needs assessment might include concerns of the services provider, like teachers, guidance counselor, or school principals. The people who have direct relationships with the service receiver, or system issues like availability of programs, services, and personnel. Level of program coordination. There are 6 steps of community assessment. Also, you will learn each of the 6 steps involved in conducting a community assessment. Define the scope, go solo or collaborate, collect data, determine key findings, set priorities, and create an action plan and share your findings. As I have said, the community needs assessment is all about the what our community needs, what are our basic needs. So like the absolute needs, relative needs, and expressed needs and perceived needs. The For me, expressed needs are what we most do, because we express what we needed, like we need money, and absolute needs are what we really need.